jolting tales of horror. Creepshow. From the author of Carrie, The Shining, and Cujo. And the creator of Night of the Living Dead and Dawn of the Dead. You'll scream at ghastly ghouls.
Directed by George Romero and written by Stephen King, 1982's Creepshow is the author's best-written work presented on film. A bold proclamation considering his novels have been adapted by the likes of David Cronenberg, Tobe Hooper, Stanley Kubrick, Brian De Palma, and John Carpenter. But none of these projects bleed from the same vein of the horror maestro like Creepshow does.
No, this is going to be an entirely new experience.
Fans of his writings can find similarities in characters, settings, and themes throughout. Creepshow is unbridled Stephen King, unchained Stephen King, and a Stephen King that doesn't have to duel against someone else's artistic interpretation. Spawned as a bridge to allow Romero to create funding so he could adapt one of King's biggest novels, The Stand, the film is an anthology that rips its roots from 1950s EC Comics. Now, where some adaptations fail to capture the gnarly grin tone of these comics, King and Romero's wholly original work seems damn near cut from the same cloth and acts as a better interpretation. Spinning 5 yarns that feature zombies, ghosts, abominable monsters, evasive terrestrial foliage, and bugs. And featuring the talents of Adrienne Barbeau, Hal Holbrook, Leslie Nielsen, E.G. Marshall, Ted Danson, Ed Harris, and King himself.
This is going to be extremely painful, Mr. Verrill.
This cast acts as the most important and successful element, lulling the audience into believing it's campy material and helping us to familiarize ourselves with the characters that we don't have time to get to know. An idea Romero implemented from the start and would become imitated in the HBO Tales from the Crypt TV show. Mostly known as the Godfather of Gore, longtime friend and frequent collaborating effects wizard Tom Savini was given the rare opportunity to delve into creature and monster creations and rounds out the trio of horror's biggest names at the time.
No. No, 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 no.
With the tone putting both feet in horror and laughs, and utilizing a comic book wraparound aesthetic, the story moves us briskly through a 2-hour runtime, though it's the themes that tie up the otherwise loose tales, and how they relate to the film's outer plot.
You see that crap? All that horror crap? Things coming out of crates and eating people? Dead people coming back to life? People turning into weeds, for Christ's sake?
Billy, played by the son of Stephen King and future author Joe Hill, has snuck an issue of Creepshow Comics into his house, something real audiences of EC Comics had to do back in the day. And is being chastised by his father, played by Tom Atkins. Billy is grounded and gets a visit by the creep himself. And so, our story, or stories, begin.
That takes care of that.
Stan, don't you think you were a little hard on him?
Well, you want him reading that stuff?
Well, no, but...
All right, then. I took care of it. That's why God made fathers, babe. That's why God made fathers.
Jumping to the end, the next morning, using a novelty voodoo doll, Billy takes revenge on his father for the punishment. The film goes to credits, and whether you look at the ending as mean-spirited or deserving, we as an audience should have seen it coming. What if we watch the film through the eyes of Billy, a kid who gets punished by his hypocritical father, and how are these loose tales interpreted by him?
Father's Day. I got my cake.
Throughout the story, we see references to patriarchal punishment,
You are such a little...
alcohol abuse,
I swear to God you are.
spousal dominance,
Where would you be without me to take care of you?
and revenge. So it's no surprise the first tale is aptly titled Father's Day, where a long-deceased bootlegger and the head of a family, who may or may not have come back by booze being poured on his grave, dishes out a punishment on the kin that betrayed him. Or how in the second story, poor lazy Geordie Verrill, who drinks himself green after coming in contact with
meteor ship,
pines for the affection of his own dead dad. Familiar to the demon in the bottle, King himself has covered alcohol and its effects on the human psyche in several of his works.
Many of you have made the great breakthrough, one giant step, the faith decision.
Needed that.
In The Crate, we see reflections of Billy's own parents in opposite roles, as a meek professor husband is controlled by his alcoholic wife, ironically nicknamed Billy.
Oh, just call me Billy. Everyone does.
Yes. George Genron told me old Norman went out with a bang.
How many men have you destroyed? How many men have you killed, you monster?
Only the stupid ones.
In both Something to Tide You Over and They're Creeping Up on You, we see anecdotes on punishment. Punishment for sleeping with one's wife.
I hope you die.
By the way,
I hope you get cancer in the worst place.
Mrs. Katzenmeyer.
And punishment for being a colossal dickhead.
Scream in hell forever.
Mrs. Katzenjammer, would you mind telling me who gave you my private number? I'd like to fire him.
It was in my husband's address book, you son of a bitch. Oh.
Well, I can't fire him, can I?
What if we were watching this movie through the eyes of a child? The final story could be a nod at what happens when your room is too clean. Truth be told, no adaptation feels more like King's, or gives us the kind of scares, gross outs, or menace that Creepshow delivers. Some Stephen King movies are too serious, some too hokey. Looking at the tagline for this film, it matches perfectly with what readers get out of the Master Macabre's books: a balance.
Creepshow, the most fun you'll ever have being scared.